All righty, looks like we are live, everybody. Welcome back to Sasquatch Out of the Shadows Live. It's been a while, folks. It's been about a month now. I think, mid-August since the last stream. So just about a month. Hope everyone is doing well. I see a lot of folks in the comments. What is up, everybody? Got the Scottish Wild Man, Kevin Hamilton. How's it going up there in Canada, man? Peggy Curtis, Sandra Piper, Mothman 46, of course. Has anyone seen that Sasquatch? I wish. Hopefully soon. Bigfoot Society. What's up, Jeremiah? Says everyone should squat up so that Alex and Eli can have more Beyond the Trail adventures. Absolutely, and we'll talk more about that later. Douglas says, "Welcome back." Thank you, Douglas. So, guys, it's been a lot has happened since the last show. We've been all over the place. We'll talk a little bit about that, but tonight's show is going to be a lot of fun for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, or if you're watching this after it's live. This is Sasquatch Out of the Shadows Live. We do shows every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, talking to a variety of folks, talking Bigfoot, sometimes other cryptids. Usually we keep it to Bigfoot and that kind of stuff. But we're excited for tonight's show. Actually, I'll say who we're having on next week, kind of amp that up as well a little bit. We're going to having on Chris Spencer. He is a researcher with the Olympic Project. Really awesome. He does a lot of audio research. Chris has become a really awesome person for myself to become friends with. I always send him my audio and stuff that I have happened in the field. So it'll be really cool to talk to him about all his stuff. So that should be fun. I have a Yeti mic again. We're the old Yeti mic. It's been a while. We've been doing the other mic. So now we got a Yeti mic again, which is awesome. So sweet. So today's show is fun. We're going to be talking about Beyond the Trail. So folks may have been familiar with the series over on the Small Town Monsters channel so far. We'll be talking all about that, the recent adventures that we've been on, Eli and I, as well as some of the other Small Town Monsters crew. So that should be a lot of fun. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, remember to subscribe, share it, and throw me a comment. See if you have any other guests to suggest. We have a lot of really awesome guests coming up for the fall, September, whatever time period we're in right now. A lot of fun stuff coming up. I'm really excited. So without further ado, let's bring in a bunch of the crew here. Let's see. We've got Heather Moser, Andy Matsky. I can't get to the bottom, guys. There we go. Seth and good old Eli Watson, all present and live, not in the flesh, but virtually. What is up, everybody?
Hi. What's up?
What's up?
Nice to see all your beautiful faces here tonight. So for folks probably are familiar with Eli, he's been on the show a bunch. Seth as well. Andy's been on a few times, I believe. But Heather Moser, this is your first time officially on Sasquatch Out of the Shadows. Do you mind maybe just giving us a little background on yourself for the folks that might not know?
Yeah, hi. So I do research for Small Town Monsters, and I'm a podcaster and a writer, and yeah, I'm just always digging into stuff.
Yeah, Heather is a badass researcher. We're happy to have her on. We'll have to do a show with just Heather to talk about some of the awesome stuff she's been up to, because she is super cool. So awesome to have her in part of the STM crew as well. How's everybody else doing tonight?
Oh, great.
Seth's had a busy weekend at Braxy, right?
Yeah, Braxy Bazaar. We were there for the 69th anniversary of the Flatwoods Monster event. We did some screenings. We showed like 3 of our movies, but the most exciting event of the weekend was the fact that my son has embraced Small Town Monsters movies, sat all of the Mothman Legacy in the theater.
Whoa.
And then asked if he could watch it again. Actually rewatching it on our drive home from his grandma's house. But apparently he prefers the Flatwoods Monster movie.
Oh boy, yeah. The good thing I got the Flatwoods shirt on today. Yeah, you're going to be watching that movie on loop probably for a while. You're going to be sick of it soon enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. What's going on, Eli? What's up in your corner of the world?
Nothing. I set out to do a lot today, and I ended up playing Zoo Tycoon for like 3 hours. So,
Great.
Which one?
Yeah, good news. Good discovery.
Zoo Tycoon 2. Don't worry, Seth. It'll be ready.
Is that the one with the Yetis and the Bigfoots?
I don't think it has those.
There's an expansion pack with dinosaurs that I think adds Yetis and Bigfoots. I remember playing that in like
Do
I
they?
don't know,
Do they have Yetis?
8th
And
grade. They do. They do. I don't know if I think it's 2. I'm not sure.
well,
I'm
I'll
pretty
look
sure it's
into it
2.
because if I can have a Bigfoot in my zoo, I know all the digital people will be happy.
No, totally. It's an awesome time. What's up with you, Andy?
Not much. Just trying to stay busy. You know,
Trying
the
to stay
usual.
busy. The usual. I hear you, man. Good stuff. Well, awesome to have everybody on. So obviously we're talking Beyond the Trail. I do want to just say hey to everyone else that came into the chat. The Bluff Creek Project podcast says I want to be on here with everyone. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have you on soon here, Tate. He's going to be talking about his upcoming film, which involves Eli and I. It's kind of it goes sort of hand in hand with Bigfoot at Bluff Creek for those that have seen it. Mothman 46 says Andy Matsky, the Leonardo DiCaprio of STM. There you go.
You do not need
Thank you.
You do not need to be pumping up that ego.
Peggy says, "Oh, awesome! You have a future little producer director in your hands, Seth."
I think so. I hope.
Tommy's the man. He's gonna be a wild one. He's an adventure kid, that's for sure. But yeah, guys. So Eli and I have been pretty busy the past month, the month of August, right? I mean, it feels kind of long ago at this point, but it wasn't that long ago. It was like last week almost. But I think it was because we were in so many different places. It was kind of crazy.
Yes, definitely. I know, like, what we just left Ohio like a week ago, huh?
Yeah.
Not even
Pretty-
a week ago for you, Eli.
Not for me,
Yeah.
but that's weird to think about. I don't know.
I know.
We
It does-
were all over the world.
Dude, yeah, that
world.
was my first time. So we basically drove all the way from, well, I drove from New Hampshire all the way to Utah. I picked Eli up in Ohio along the way. And that was like my first time really driving across the U.S. Most of it was pretty boring, unfortunately. No offense to the Midwestern states like Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri. We were just driving through. There wasn't a whole lot to see. There was some good barbecue, though. That's for sure. But let me just back up for a second. So Beyond the Trail, for folks that aren't aware, is let's talk a little bit about kind of how this all came into being. This will be sort of I don't want to say a repeat of the Monsteropolis episode where we talked about Beyond the Trail, but we'll in a little bit of that vein we'll talk about it. So Beyond the Trail is a adventure series, documentary series about Bigfoot over on the Small Town Monsters channel. It's sort of a kind of not really an offshoot; it's its own thing, but it's connected in a ways to On the Trail of Bigfoot and the kind of On the Trail of format. So far there are 3 episodes out, and there's a link to that playlist down in the comments guy or in the description of this video. So go check that out. So we have I can't even name them, and they're all mine, and I just cannot think of the titles. First one's Bigfoot, Granite State Bigfoot Case. That's the first one about New Hampshire Bigfoot. The second one is Sasquatch in the Pine Tree State. I think I'm starting to get it. Which is about Bigfoot in Maine. And then we have Bigfoot at Bluff Creek, which is the one that just came out in the end of August. And we have another episode coming up, which I just watched the full cut last night, Eli. I got to say, awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Bigfoot.
Go ahead.
Bigfoot Mountain, everybody.
Bigfoot
That's
Mountain,
right.
Exactly.
I thought of a really cool name, and then Seth was like, no, we need something else.
It's my goal in life to squash all of your dreams.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So that one's about Bigfoot in Oregon. That was the second part of our Pacific Northwest trip. We talked about it. We actually did a recap show about it. Oh, I think Heather just dropped, but hopefully she'll come back. But we're boring her clearly with our conversation, so we got to pick up the steam here. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, that Oregon trip, we did a whole recap episode on that. But over the past month, Eli and I have filmed, well, I guess all of us in some aspects have filmed 3 more episodes that'll be coming out in the coming months. One in Colorado, so Bigfoot in the Rockies, something like that. Sasquatch, Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, I think is maybe a working title. I don't know. We'll talk to Seth about that one. But we've also got the Utah episode, which is going to be awesome. We went to some incredible locations, absolutely beautiful Rocky Mountains, the high Uintas in Utah. And then we did an Ohio episode in good old Minerva. That's and we'll talk a little bit about that. But something I wanted to do, if this would be cool, is maybe show the first 2 minutes of Bigfoot Mountain. What do you guys think? Would that be cool?
Yeah, go for it.
Let me
Do
pull
it.
that up. So I'll get us out of the way, and I'll just show the first 2 minutes, and then we'll come back. So you folks are getting a sneak peek at this. This is coming out. Is it this week for squad members?
Yeah, squad should get it on Thursday.
So if you are a squad member over at STM, the link to the description is down below for STM. You want to go support the channel, help us keep making content, become a squad member, because that you not only will you get the episodes in 4K and ad free, you'll get them a week earlier than the general release. So this Bigfoot Mountain episode that I'm about to put on will be coming out this week for squad members, next week for general audiences. So let's I'll get rid of all of us and play the first 2 minutes here. The coastline of Oregon is checkered with unique rock formations. Like so many other places in the Beaver State, these sea stacks were formed from years of lava flow and erosion. Douglas firs and Sitka spruces crowd the coastline, flowing inland to the seemingly never-ending forests of the Pacific Northwest. As the third most forested state in the United States, Oregon boasts 11 national forests, 21 wildlife refuges, and 361 state parks. Old lava tubes now gush with snow runoff, providing water for these vast wilderness areas. Animals like elk, deer, foxes, bats, bears, and mountain lions thrive in this environment. And according to some, there is another creature roaming these woods.
Oregon is the perfect habitat for Sasquatches. Obviously, the Pacific Northwest in general is great. You have vast wilderness, you have lots of bear, lots of coyotes, and lots of other apex predators.
It's got everything. I mean, you got remoteness, you still have an abundance of wilderness up here. You have many, many waterways, lakes, rivers.
Thick forest, it's very damp, very wet, lots of different types of wildlife. In fact, in Oregon, we've got several different biomes within a few hours drive, right?
You can go from, from coast to inland really fairly quick. I mean, relatively speaking. It's an amazing, amazing area, amazing state overall. It's no wonder that the Native Americans, up here talk about them freely. They've always been there, which I believe they have always been there.
It's also much more in the culture here. So it's easier to get reports and to get those fresh tips to go out and find more evidence in the field here, which is something that I prefer to do.
All right, as a sneak peek would have it, that's all you guys get for now. So let's pop everybody back in here. So there you have it. That was the first 2 minutes. And what's really cool about this upcoming episode, the 2 minutes I just showed, is that's actually Eli's first time editing a full Beyond the Trail. So nice job, Eli.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah, it's awesome. The nature, the scenery, I think will blow people away. As you saw, guys, there's some pretty awesome folks featured in that. Obviously, Cliff Barrickman, Melissa Barrickman, Shane Corson, Connor Anderson. There's some pretty cool people. So super excited for that to be out. And again, if you want to become a squad member, that is an awesome way to get a sneak peek at not only that kind of stuff you get to see early, but lots of other content, including On the Trail of Hauntings. What else is coming with Squad or is available with Squad?
Yeah, and just for those that aren't aware, Squad is our YouTube channel. That's the moniker we've given to our YouTube channel members. So you go to and you click the join tab, and then you become a member, and you become a part of the Squad. There are a whole bunch of new series that'll be popping up for YouTube next year, especially. But right now on YouTube, there's already the first 2 or 3 episodes of Beyond the Trail are already up on there, ad free in 4K. You can watch those. All of On the Trail of Hauntings, which is 5 episodes plus the roundtable episode. There's more episodes of that coming soon. We do a lot of the production diaries. So if you're into like the behind the scenes of small town monster stuff, that's on there.
Sure.
Monsteropolis. There's way more coming over the next year than there is right now, but there's already a lot on it. So if you become a channel member, you get a heck of a lot of stuff right out of the gate.
Totally. And again, guys, that's an awesome way to support STM. You're supporting independent filmmakers like ourselves, all of the folks here. We have a good time making this stuff, and we enjoy creating it and showing you guys what we find or haven't found. And as Tactical Bigfoot Research, that's Mike. What's up, dude? He says STM Squad is awesome. Mothman 46 says join the squad and your chances of seeing Bigfoot go up 10%. There you go.
That's
there. That is. I mean, Mothman 46 wouldn't lie. That is 100% fact. Tate Hieronymus says something very cool happened in Bigfoot Mountain, Oregon episode. That's all I'll say. Totally. Tate is also a part of that one. He had some pretty cool ideas, and it'll be fun to talk about that. Gerald says, were those copter or drone shots in the beginning? Nice work.
Copter.
Yeah, those were helicopter shots.
Yep.
That's what we're sticking with. Yeah. Laughing Picker says this is like the cool kids lunch table. Lol. Yeah, I guess we think we're cool. I don't know. I don't think I'm that cool, but
Andy's cool.
And Andy's probably the coolest of them all.
Yeah. Certified cool.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Donald Fuller says, boo, we want more. Very soon, man. Go become a squad member, or just wait till next week until it comes out, and be sure to like and subscribe and share all that stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, so that's a really fun episode. I'm super excited for that one coming up. But we've just got a lot of awesome episodes. So something I wanted to mention was the fact that between June and September, we filmed 6 feature-length episodes, Eli. That there's something for you.
That's too many.
That's too many in that time period. No, yeah, I mean that was Maine. Was the main episode. That was Bigfoot at Bluff Creek, Bigfoot Mountain, Colorado, Utah, and Ohio, Minerva Monster. So that's a lot of episodes to film in that short time. But we're excited. It's basically going to be about an episode every month. That's how it's seeming to be rolling for now. So you'll have at least for the rest of the year. Plus, in November, the Olympic Project episode will be coming out. So Seth, you have obviously On the Trail of Bigfoot, the Discovery coming out. Do you want to mention maybe a little bit about that?
Yeah. So On the Trail of Bigfoot, the Discovery comes out. It's supposed to be late November. It was supposed to be mid-November. Now it's probably pushed to November, but it could even be very early December. We just have to wait on our distributor to find out what the release date will be. But yeah, it's a feature-length, like 70-minute look at the Olympic Project as a group and the work they've done in northern Washington and specifically the Olympic Peninsula. And it really, I think it'll be by far the most in-depth look at the nest site, which a lot of people within the Bigfoot community have heard of. But this will take you in there. You'll get to see. I just got the original videos from when the nests were like intact and like Shane just sent me those earlier, so you'll get to see the way they looked when they were first discovered, which is pretty awesome to see because we were in there, but they were dismantled by the time we were filming. Which even then was still pretty cool to see. But yeah, it's I think like Mark, I sent it to Mark. Mark told me it's like our most mature Bigfoot movie to date, and I think that's probably it's a very grounded look at research into the Bigfoot subject that could potentially become like a huge deal. And I think for a lot of people, especially people who don't put any credence into the Bigfoot topic or who don't think there's anything to it, I think this will cause them to ask some questions. Just based on these nests that have been discovered. I will say, I don't know, there's plenty of like really cool spooky Bigfoot stories in the movie or whatever, but it isn't necessarily for like the audience who wants stories about like Bigfoot ripping people's heads off and like
Yeah.
chucking them in cars like it's Jurassic Park or something with Sasquatch. We don't.
That's what Beyond the Trail is for.
Let's be on the trail. We don't get into that in this particular film, but I'm really excited, and I mean just like from a scenery standpoint, probably.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, it's probably the most gorgeous movie we've made. I mean, the Olympic Peninsula is unreal. So, shout out to Aaron Gaskin who did some really great cinematography on that. Andy helped shoot that, and then I was third camera, and then we're also pulling from famed drone pilot Shmuley Schmonson. Just an unreal drone pilot, that guy.
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you mean. I use a lot of his stuff frequently.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but I saw the rough cut last week or before the pre-rough cut. And I thought it was, I think mature is a really good way of describing it. It's no nonsense, so to speak. It's very like, I don't want to say somber, but you could I felt watching it in the dark. I was watching STMHQ in the dark, just all alone. I think Eli was popping in and out, but I was just kind of like mesmerized. It was just the scenery alone. So that's going to be awesome. But not only is that coming out, but the Beyond the Trail episode, which will basically kind of go hand in hand with that, is also coming out around the same time, either right before or after. I'm not really sure. Heather is back again.
Maybe.
Yeah, that Beyond
Maybe
the
Heather's
Trail,
back.
Maybe. Back for
that
now.
Beyond the Trail episode's going to be 71 minutes long.
Okay, I'll go 75. I don't care. Bring it.
I'll do 70. I'll do 80 minutes.
I'll keep adding. I'll just keep adding. I'll add like 20 minutes of uncut Derek Randall's interview.
There you go. I honestly, I don't think that would take away from the film, because I could just listen to Derek talk all day. That guy's awesome. But yeah, so there will be two films of their own coming out about that area. And Eli and I obviously slept down in the Nest site with some of the OP members. So great connection to next week's show, actually, because as I mentioned, guys, at the beginning, next week I'll be having on Chris Spencer, who will be talking about a lot of the audio stuff with the Olympic project. So, and as you saw in the couple minutes we showed of Bigfoot Mountain, Shane Corson is in there as well. And he's now become basically a core member of the Olympic project, but started out researching in Oregon. So that was really cool to go with him to the sighting of his Bigfoot sighting. That's where he first saw one. So that will be in Bigfoot Mountain as well. So there's a lot of cool tie-ins, a lot of great stuff. We're super excited to show everybody some of this stuff. Mike says, looking forward to seeing the new On the Trail of. Very cool. Yeah, Mike was in the last one with On the Trail Bigfoot, the Journey. So that's fun. We have Emily in the comments. What is up, Emily? Hi. Laughing Picker says you guys are way cool. So he does actually think we're cool. So that's good. We're good on that front. But yeah, so moving on, let's talk a little bit about briefly Eli and I, our adventures in Colorado and Utah, and then we'll transition into Ohio, which I'm super excited to talk about. But yeah, when we were out in Colorado, we did a really cool episode. I'm just starting to kind of edit it now, and I'm super excited for kind of trying to make it into a little bit of a Western. It's definitely got some Western vibes. We spent some time actually here at this awesome establishment known as the Sasquatch Outpost. Great place if you're in the Colorado area. It's a Bigfoot museum, gift shop. It is like a super cool spot. But we got to hang out with the owner, Jim, some of his research spots, and then we spent some time at this ranch, Eli. What was going on there without getting into too many specifics?
Basically, they were having a lot of activity of the Sasquatch kind. I don't know. There's just like lots of crazy stories. I don't want to reveal any details, but basically there was a lot of crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
We recorded some possible, well, that was a spoiler, but
weird audio. Yeah.
we got some weird audio.
Some other cool stuff, which I'm not going to reveal too much about, but I'm getting some stuff tested. We'll put it that way for now.
Urine.
Whoa.
Yeah, definitely. Eli peed in a cup, and that's what we're testing.
Well, it's not going to come back clean.
Throws himself under the bus. Oh gosh. Oh boy. But no, there's some cool stuff pending. I'm waiting to hear back on some of that stuff. But yeah, it's a fun episode. I think it's going to have some Western vibes, but very much I think it's going to be a cool look at Bigfoot in the Colorado and the Rocky Mountain areas. I feel like that area doesn't get a lot of love when it comes to the Bigfoot topic, but there are so many good stories going back to the miners. I mean, awesome stuff. So stay tuned for that. After that, we were out in Utah. So we were in the high Uintas, which I've read about for years. I've been wanting to go to that spot for such a long time and just backpack because it's just such an amazing area. Now, Eli, that was your first kind of legit backpacking trip. Give a little summary of how you think it went in terms of like the physical aspect of it.
It was rigorous, that's for sure. I think the hardest part was the elevation because I'm a coastal boy. You know, my base elevation's like 1,000 feet, if that. You know, so being at starting out at like 8,000 feet was not fun. So
yeah, it was like 10,000 feet when we got up there. Past that,
and oh yeah, and you say it all the time. You know, we're not just packing camping supplies; we're packing filming equipment, Bigfoot research equipment. You know, so that adds like so much weight to your pack. You know.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was pretty grueling. I mean, I hadn't done a backpacking trip like that since at least last summer, or even before that. So it was definitely tough, but it was beautiful. The area was absolutely unreal. Probably one of the most beautiful mountainous areas that I've had the pleasure to be in for a few days. We had some strange stuff happen, believe it or not. I did not expect anything to happen, but we went out there and I think we got kind of surprised by what we had go on, Eli.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that, or are we saving that?
We'll save that. We'll just say like we had some strange stuff happen, but that one I feel like is going to be so much more. It's not going to involve as many talking head interviews, right? It's going to be much more just the two of us out there and that absolutely incredible wilderness. I mean, that was wild.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be a lot more, like you said, it's almost like a nature documentary.
Yeah, that's what I thought going into it. I was like, oh, it's going to be about this. And, maybe we'll talk about some stories. I did not think we'd have some stuff happen to us. Really interesting. Yeah. So without giving too much away, something to look out for. I see there's a lot of questions popping in. We will start taking questions soon here. But I do want to talk about the third project we just finished up, which is why we were in Ohio with all these fine folks, the rest of the STM gang. Doing something actually connecting back to the Minerva story. So I don't know who wants to start. If Seth, you want to kind of, I don't know whose idea it was. Was it Heather's or Seth's to kind of do it, be on the trail about this area, or is it both?
I mean, I don't know. I've wanted to go back to that story for a long time. But Heather has like sort of the perfect place to do it. So I can't remember how about Heather. Do you?
Yeah, I remember. It was whenever we did the Rougarou recreations, and you're like, all right, I'm bringing Alex here.
Yeah, but like, how did you have history of activity on that property too? So like, how did?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, there's stuff that happens here, but once you saw it and you paired it with different things that have happened, that's whenever you're like, that's it. This is what's happening. Alex is coming here if I can convince him to. So.
Did not take much convincing, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think I looked at it as like almost like a pseudo sequel to Minerva Monster, but like set in the present day where people could kind of get clued into the fact that there is ongoing activity in that area, which, I mean, that entire part of Ohio is pretty active with reports. Every time we do events out in like Carrollton or any of that kind of stuff, we have people come up and tell us about sighting reports. There's a ton of like road crossing sightings that happen out there, especially like near Minerva. Yeah, it's a cool place. There's a lot going on out there.
Oh, definitely. I was really excited when you first mentioned it. So for folks that don't know, the Minerva Monster is actually STM's first documentary, which is about a flap of sightings of Bigfoot-like creatures in Minerva, Ohio, which is in eastern Ohio. So it was really cool. What I was excited for was not only being able to kind of return to that Minerva story, but showcasing a little bit of Ohio. And I think that was really the first area, at least what we've done so far with Beyond the Trail, that we weren't in some deep wilderness area. Like every episode we've done has been, up in the wilderness in Maine, Northern California, Utah, you name it. This was the first one where it's that classic Eastern Ohio Bigfoot terrain that has been talked about since the 90s. And this is something I talked about with you, Seth, and Heather and Mark Matsky as well, about how Ohio was one of the first states to break that mold of Bigfoot is just in the Pacific Northwest, right? I mean, there were stories coming from other parts of the country for years, but Ohio, I think more than other states, especially in the 90s and the 2000s, came out as sort of the fourth state for Bigfoot, right after the 3 PNW states. So I was really excited to talk about that. And we did some investigating around there. We had Andy on as well, the crew. We got to do some recreations for sightings. We talked to a lot of people in the area about their Bigfoot encounters, stuff that they've had happen. And so, you're a few miles from where that original Minerva story happened, which I thought was really cool. Now, Heather, in terms of, you grew up in the area, and we talked a little bit about this during your interview when I interviewed you last week, but you grew up in the area. Did you hear anything about the Minerva story growing up, and or was it more later that you heard about it?
Yeah, I didn't hear about the Minerva story until STM did the Minerva Monster documentary, but I did hear about Bigfoot all the time growing up. So it wasn't surprising that had happened. It just wasn't a story that I had grown up knowing.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool. I mean, we got to speak to one of the family members as well, who says that there's still stuff going on there. So,
well, I think like Heather too is kind of indicative of that whole area. Like younger people really aren't aware of that story, and Heather would have sort of grown up around the time that I mean, it would have been kind of off the radar by then. It seems like it disappeared sometime in the late 80s, early 90s, where people slowed down talking about it. And by the late 90s, early 2000s and stuff, it was completely gone.
Sorry, I was reading a comment. I did want to read this comment from Laughing Picker. He just said, Seth, I just became a squad member. This was from a few minutes ago. So awesome. Cool. Thank you. Jonathan Dodd is also in the comments. He says, hey, all.
So Jonathan, I got to mention this too. Jonathan just did illustrations for Discovery that are pretty mind blowing. Really
awesome.
Really cool style that he's bringing to the table on this one that I haven't seen him use anywhere else. But it kind of speaks directly to the style that I would like. So I'm pumped for people to see that. Discovery is going to be visually, I think it's going to be top tier for us, but not
for sure
here as this episode of Beyond the Trail set in Minerva, Ohio.
It's a lot of pressure.
I was bringing it full circle. I just wanted to.
There you go. No, Jonathan is awesome. Seriously, he did some, for folks that have seen Bigfoot at Bluff Creek, he did a bunch of the illustrations in there that were really cool, including of Bobo, James Bobo Faye's encounter, which happened right at Louse Camp. So that was really cool. Super awesome to have Jonathan doing some illustrations on that. Spike Jeff says, love these stories. Keep them coming. Absolutely. Scott Taylor says they are definitely in Ohio. Totally. So yeah, Andy, what did you think about when we were talking about doing, a return to Minerva? Obviously you've been with STM for quite a while, and you were also from Ohio, and you and your dad are very much into the Ohio Bigfoot stuff. What did you think about the idea of doing a return to Minerva?
I was excited to actually go out and look around in Minerva, because I had known that stuff sort of had kept going on, because Brandon Dalo had talked about how he had heard that things were still going on, because he spent quite a bit of time out in the Caton's property. And of course, with Minerva Monster, with all that, I had never spent all that much time out in Minerva. I spent time both of the Minerva Monster days, and that was, back when we had those, and that was the only time I had spent there in Minerva. So I was excited to actually go out and look for Bigfoot in Minerva and in Ohio, because I really haven't done that much, serious Bigfoot research in Ohio even though I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, you saw how serious we were about that.
Yeah, it was
especially when I
serious,
was fishing and trying to teach Tommy how to fish.
Yeah.
Right? That didn't go so well, but yeah, I tried my best. But so we have some questions. This one comes from Donald. He says, "Are they still getting activity in Minerva? If so, is there a certain time of year?" So, answer the first part, yes. Now, Heather, what do you think about that second part? Is it a certain time of year? I mean, what have you seen so far or heard about?
From what I've heard, it seems to ramp up in the spring, and then there are sightings and encounters and stuff in the first part of winter. But it just seems to be that time, like end of spring, beginning of winter through the summer, just that time of the year. It's not as
August, September, especially though, not to
not to tease anybody, but sure.
August.
That's right when we were there. Whoa.
Like late, really, it starts up I think in like mid to late July and then runs really into September. Is where like the really like if there's a bulk of reports or like a flap of reports, they tend to be during that time frame. But they're like Heather said, the sightings are kind of all the time, but especially summer and then during the winter a little bit. Watch for the sightings. The sightings that take place in the winter tend to be around pine forests, which is like pretty typical of Ohio Bigfoot in general.
That's very East Coast. I hear that a lot from up in New England too.
Yep.
Yeah, so I remember back in Minerva Monster Day in 2016, the first time I met Seth and Andy officially, I guess, or right around that time. I remember I had people coming up to me and telling me I live right outside of Minerva and I have stuff going on every July. They come by. And this guy, I remember he was showing me photos of structures. I don't remember his name or anything, but he said it was every year. And that's something I've heard for quite a number of years coming out of Ohio, is that it's like a seasonal thing. It thins out in the winter months and then it picks up, but it's kind of always going on the same time of year, which I thought was really interesting. I mean, again, Ohio being so well known for the Bigfoot stuff, it just kind of, I hadn't really done a whole lot of Ohio research, and now I definitely feel like I've done a little bit more, and getting to see that terrain out there in Eastern Ohio, which is, as Heather, you would describe as kind of the foothills of the Appalachians, right?
Yeah, exactly. You get the rolling hills and farmland and forests.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, we got a question. Peggy says, "Is there any talk of another Minerva Monster Day?"
No, not really. We ran Minerva Monster Day for like 2 years in a row, and then we had a third scheduled, and we ended up bailing. The reason is like the town just doesn't have an interest in the event, and there are some townspeople who want it, but for the most part, like the people that we would really need involved to make it an event that we could have annually, they don't see the benefit of it, despite the fact that the first year and the second year both brought in around 1,200 people each year, which is kind of a big deal for that town. I think the closest you can get to like a Minerva Monster Day now is we do screenings at the Canton Palace Theater pretty often. Those are kind of like a mini Minerva Monster Day. We usually, do a screening and then like Q&A. Sometimes we show multiple movies in a day. So if COVID ever clears out enough for us to do the event we had planned 2 years ago, which was Mysteries and Monsters at the Canton Palace Theater, that would be very similar to Minerva Monster Day. That was the plan for that event. So hopefully we can bring that event back.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That was a very fun idea to do events like that. I did just want to, this is like unrelated, but I did want to read this comment. I always like it when people in the audience share their encounters or kind of talk about some of the stuff they have going on. Chick Real or Chic Real says, "I recently been inspired to overcome my fear to venture back into the forest/woods to hike and camp out again after having surreal Sasquatch encounter in Ohio and PA in 2019. Oh, interesting. I'd be curious to hear about some of the encounters there, and good to get back in the woods, obviously, after a while. So yeah, but very cool. So Yeah, that was a fun time out there in Minerva. We obviously got to kind of poke around the woods, and something that I really like about that whole area in general is the kind of how it goes from the rolling hills, farmland, and you got these patches of thick forest in between. So it's not like a lot of the environments. You okay there, Eli?
I was
trying to get
thinking.
me-
I was listening.
Trying to get me to lose my focus. Like, I'll have to take you off screen here. No, but
No.
but yeah, no, I'm just really excited to start editing that project. And the bummer is I don't get to start editing it for a couple months here because we've got all these other episodes, which I am also excited for. But that one's going to be really cool. So I'm hoping we do justice to the Minerva kind of the return to Minerva. We obviously talked to a lot of awesome folks, as I mentioned, did some interviews. We interviewed Seth as well as Heather and Mark Matsky, all talking about the Ohio Bigfoot stuff and kind of that whole area. So definitely something to look out for, folks. There's just so much coming down the road.
This is probably a good point to mention too, that that area and that property that we're talking about is all in Heather's family. So I think the plan, but basically what happened is I kind of became enamored with the area itself and then the cabin. And obviously I grew up 15 minutes from Minerva. So Minerva's like hometown to me. It has that feel to it. So while we were there, I thought there was an opportunity there to expand on what you guys were doing. We are doing our own series called the Bigfoot Project that's going to kick off later. Actually, probably early next year, you'll start to see episodes of that. And what that series is going to be is like me, and then each episode will be another investigator or investigators in that area together. It's not going to be like a documentary style show necessarily. I mean, it is a documentary, it's real, but it's not going to be driven by like talking head interviews or anything like that. It'll be me and then like investigators, and we have put together an interesting list of like people that are going to come out with me. We'll go into that area and basically stay in the cabin for like 2-3 days at a time, and then maybe when it warms back up we'll like camp out further in the woods or something like that. But there's so much property to explore there, and I mean, you really don't realize it until Heather takes you out on like the gator and you can see how much land there is there to really get into. But there's like a cave nearby that we could go explore. There's like an abandoned house. There's all sorts of stuff there that would make really cool settings for a show. But there's a lot of people I want to have involved in the show. I think the first episode is probably going to be Heather and I like kind of exploring the area and talking about the history of the property and Minerva in general, and then future episodes will have like Les Odell and the Wild and Weird West Virginia guys, and just a lot of different investigator friends of mine. I want to take Mark Matsky over there and do an episode with him where it's just basically like a Sasquatch in the field episode. But I'm super excited to get into it because we had something happen while we were there that is truly,
it was weird.
It's pretty, I mean, like I would say it's as unexplainable as it gets in the woods in Ohio. So I'm kind of excited to maybe find out if there isn't something in the area, more than what you'll find in Beyond the Trail.
Ooh, I guess we got to step our game up, Eli.
I know.
And expanding upon what you guys.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
all right.
We get it.
You gonna hike up to where we hiked in the Hayuintas and just stay there for a month?
No, man. The Hayuintas aren't in Minerva, Ohio.
That's season 2, Seth, since you're doing more than we ever did.
Eli takes things personally. Here, take this personally, Eli. Here's a comment for you. Joe Turry says, "Hey, all, very much enjoying the Beyond the Trail episodes. Also enjoying Eli's new hairstyle."
Thank you. I'm enjoying it too.
That's an improvement. I mean, you literally got called a caveman at one point on this show, like a year ago, with your previous hairstyle. So there's an improvement right there. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Patrick says, "Sounds like Coshocton to me. I mean, that from what I understand, that's not too far from there, right?
Stockton is fairly close to Minerva, and that's all kind of. I mean, it's all interconnected by the same forest, really. I mean, if you forest. I mean, really, Minerva connects to the forest outside Minerva is going to connect to like Salt Fork too. So you've got it's all interconnected on that in that part of Ohio. All you know. There's plenty of Bigfoot reports in the area. The caveman's laughing about it, but
yeah.
So I'm not laughing about you.
No, that's fine.
There's some tomfoolery going on in the comments. But I do want to read this. Chick Real says, Seth, do you know where Niles, Ohio is? I had a very close encounter not far from there.
I recognize the name. Do you know where Niles is, Heather?
No, it's I don't know. I feel like it's near Youngstown or something, right?
I also recognize the name. Yeah, it is near Youngstown. It's somewhere over there. But also, as someone who lives in Ohio, it rings a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
She says it's near Youngstown. Fair enough.
See?
Yeah. There you go.
I knew it.
Okay, I want to start taking some other questions. I know there was a bunch of questions from earlier, and I promise I will get to those guys. But Bigfoot Forest, Vancouver Island says, hey, Sasquatch out of the shadows. Anyone having sightings of UFO or Sasquatch connected with UFO sightings? I mean, I don't know. That seems like much more of a Pennsylvania thing. I've heard a lot of that from Pennsylvania, like Stan Gordon kind of stuff. I don't know. That's where I don't know if you guys know of anyone having those kinds of sightings, but like anything in that area that you've heard of, Heather or Andy, go ahead.
There's stuff up in northeastern Ohio with Bigfoot and Ohio. If you want to hear more about that, check out my now defunct podcast, Somewhere in Ohio. That's still up there, but I talk about that, and that's about as Bigfoot and UFO as it gets. That's very Chestnut Ridgey, high strangeness, classic stuff. But it has to do with the book by the name of Night Siege that's not known by too many people.
Ron,
I've heard of it.
I
think you told me about it, Andy.
I think I did.
That would make sense. Awesome. Donald Fuller asks, Alex, any plans on a Vermont episode? Yes, definitely. That I think one, as Vermont is my neighboring state here in New Hampshire. I would love to do a Vermont episode. If you guys know, a few videos ago, Carrick St. Laurent actually put that video together, but him and I had some really weird stuff happen to us last month or beginning of August when we were going to the Champ Day event. I did a live stream on it. We got stuff like thrown at us in the woods. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm actually hoping to get back to that spot pretty soon with Carrick and check it out. It was in the Green Mountain National Forest. Vermont has a lot of history. You've got the Bennington Triangle stuff, old slippery skin, very weird kind of stories from in the day. And I know we'll talk a little bit after some of these questions about some of the future beyond the trail, because obviously it was announced when you guys did the STM announcement for 2022, but we'll maybe touch up a little bit on that as we're wrapping up in a little bit here. But here's Carrick actually himself. He says, hi everyone, so cool to see all of you. Which of the new Beyond the Trails are you all looking most forward to? I cannot read tonight, but which one? Why don't we start out with Eli? I guess, unfortunately.
I don't know. I feel like I'm biased. I guess Bigfoot Mountain and then Sasquatch Valley. I don't know. See, there's two answers. Bigfoot Mountain for now.
Bigfoot Mountain. I like Bigfoot Mountain. What about you, Heather? Of what you've heard, which one sounds most intriguing?
Well, whenever we had our announcement the other day, I believe there was something discussed about Louisiana, wasn't there?
Oh, yes.
Honey
Island Swamp. That is an awesome one. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Seth, what do you think? What do you think, us vagabonds? What's most exciting about our crazy work?
I mean, I think I want to see what you guys do with the Minerva thing, just because, like, I don't know. I'm curious to see what you do with it. And the interview, that's a very like interview driven episode, I think.
For sure.
Having been around for the filming. And I'm kind of excited to see see that. But I will say Bigfoot Mountain is a really good episode. Like I really
I like it too.
that episode.
So if we miss the Minerva one, we're pretty much out. So that the pressure's real.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to see what you do with it, Alex. I really do. Seems like it'll be cool.
Ideas. I definitely have some ideas, which may include, possibly, hopefully, going back there at some point. But Andy, what about you?
I think I'm most excited. Oh gosh, good grief.
Oh, he's that excited. He's
I'm that excited. Yeah, that to see the Washington one, because that one will tie in to Discovery, and I'm really excited to see the final cut of Discovery and the final one of Beyond the Trail, because I'm interested to see how those interconnect.
For sure. Yeah, I'd probably say I'm probably most excited for Sasquatch Valley. Eli's probably going to be doing that one. So not only is it cool because he gets to do it, I was there a lot of, him and we creatively collaborate, but it's always cool when somebody else does it. But I think that area is probably my favorite of all the scenic spots. So I'm just really excited for that. I like them all, but that one probably I'm just most looking forward to, at least for now. Jonathan asks, when are you guys coming to the East Coast for more Beyond the Trail? Tomorrow. Okay. There you go.
Sorry. Wait. Go ahead.
What are you answering?
That question.
Okay, I guess Eli's coming tomorrow. Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, we are hoping to do I want to do another New Hampshire episode because I love the Wood Devil story, and then obviously Vermont would be East Coast, but I think maybe more in the South at some point. We've got a lot of stuff planned for it, so I guess we'll have to see. We got a question from Mike. He says, what was the best nature vista that you came across during your travels? Eli, what do you think?
I think I'm going to steal your answer, Alex. I think the Hayuintas. Oh, wait, no. What am I talking about? Mount Hood's still my favorite. I love Mount Hood.
Yeah. You did steal my answer. I'm going to go with the Hayuintas. I mean, the Colorado Rockies are amazing. I will say that one place we camped with my buddy Malcolm, that was probably my favorite spot we've ever camped in, at Windy Hilltop. That was incredible. But the Hayuintas, that area, Utah in general, is just so beautiful. You go from that desert to the mountains and the forest. It's just crazy. Totally wild. So Jeremiah says, what's the most delicious meal you've had on your travels so far? Oof, that's a really tough one. I think we should all answer this. It doesn't have to be Beyond the Trail specific, but whoever wants to take this one, I think I kind of know Seth's answer, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Am I starting?
Go for it. I put you on the spot.
When there's a restaurant in LA called Mess Hall, so does that count?
Yes, for sure. I was gonna guess George Henry's, but that works.
No, I mean George Henry's is great, but the most recent episode there colored my view a little bit. But yeah, there's a restaurant in LA called the Mess Hall that Wingard took me to the first time I went to LA, and then I took the whole crew when we did On the Trail of UFOs season 1. We actually took Forrest Burgess from the Legends podcast, and Shannon was with us, and we had dinner there. Super cool place. It's like LA's got all the like trendy food crap, but this isn't really trendy food. It's just really good, like real food. Although I will say they have amazing buffalo cauliflower.
Wow. It's not something I would have guessed, but that sounds pretty good. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, somebody commented Eli would not pass the P test. That I think that's pretty evident at this point.
He just came wheeling slowly back.
Heather, do you have a favorite meal in your travels with on STM stuff?
Well, I haven't had a ton of travels with STM actually that I could think of. Yeah, 2, 3.
Minerva. We did we've eaten twice in Minerva.
Yep.
Oh,
then
the McDonald's.
wait, what?
McDonald's.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I got. Yeah, I don't know because I mean we had some really good food in Chicago when I ate, like, but yeah, I don't know what the places were called. I don't remember. So I'm not. This is not a good question for me.
Fair enough. Eli, you eat a lot. What? I want to hear your opinion. You're like you're a big eater.
The chicken buffet in Wadsworth.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with that barbecue we had in Kansas City.
Oh, that was pretty bomb.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Like, I want that now.
I don't remember what it was called, but that was pretty brutal. You know what I'm gonna say? This is tough. I don't know because I always get torn. I'll let Andy go first. He's probably not gonna say George Henry's.
Yeah,
for
not
sure.
George Henry's. There was this place when we were in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, for
the
for
sub
just-
shop,
yeah, the
Angelina's.
sub shop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
Angelina's. That was really good. That's what's come to my mind. That's what I'll say. Is I had Angelina's subs in Pittsfield. That was great.
Yeah,
Not
it
George
seemed-
Henry's though.
Seemed like Angelina was there.
The Mexican restaurant in Pittsfield was also really great.
Yeah, that was also some of the best Mexican food I've ever had.
Totally tried their food.
It was so good.
No, but that was funny. I think you became like the lady there. Well, I'm just gonna call
Oh,
Angelina,
yeah,
even though it's like a chain. But
She was very nice, and like she wrapped up my sandwich again because I only ate like half of it because of George Henry's the night before. I was sort of a little cautious eating, and so I only had like half of my sandwich. And but she like made sure that I enjoyed it, and was like, if not, she would have like made me another sandwich. She was a very nice lady, very
You
good
became
customer
her
service. Yeah,
honorary sandwich shop son. pretty
yeah,
much.
it felt like it. Yeah.
It was
great.
amazing. Some great hospitality. No, that's a good subs there. I might go with the Mexican place in Colorado. Eli's just I just see Eli laughing like, what is going on? What was the name of that town, Eli, in Colorado? We ate twice at this little Mexican place. It was great.
Oh, what was the name of that place?
It was small. It was this beautiful little town in Colorado. I cannot remember the name of, but it was a small Mexican place next to a
It was like
Stop
Walmart?
and Shop, something like that. I don't remember.
Save and go. I don't know.
We'll go with that. But either way, all right. Enough about the food stuff.
Well-
I'm assuming you're laughing at the comments coming in because
I'm laughing at Kevin Hamilton. He's really roasting me pretty good.
Kevin Hamilton is he's like always. He's always got some really funny comments. He says, "Did Eli just say he got barbecued in Kansas City?" Kevin is like the I don't want to say clown of the show, but he's always got the funny lines and everything. Mateo Flores says barbecue is delicious. If you guys are ever in Tennessee, head over to Bear Woods, best briskets in town. According to some, I eat my body weight in briskets, so I might have to go there. So,
It's true.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Chick Real said, was it in Gunnison? No, it wasn't. We passed through Gunnison. I don't remember. Oh man. I'm actually going to look it up on the map right now. I'm kind of disappointed because we were there twice. It was after my friend got a flat tire. We did that crazy off-roading kind of thing. Leadville. It was Leadville. Leadville, Colorado. What an awesome town. It's a great spot. So got a few more questions here. Stefan, what's up, my dude? This is my good buddy from college, Stefan Schoberg. He asks, I can't speak. He asks, when you go out in the woods, what's that?
How deep will you go?
How deep will we go? That's the gist of it. Presumably these cryptids won't be living right next to the road or parking lot. Depends where you are. Are you guys expert hikers and campers? Are you an expert hiker and camper, Eli?
I do it part-time. So
Eli's gotten good. I would not consider myself an expert. Maybe a little bit, but not like crazy. But Eli's he's I can trust him in the woods now. He won't set the woods on fire.
I don't know, dude. You can set California on fire pretty easy. So
that was yeah. Seth, you're an expert camper and hiker from what I hear.
Yeah, no doubt. I have spent millions of hours really in the woods and hunt and forage. I'm a big forager.
Oh, totally.
Fisherman and fisherman. Big fan of like you point me at a mountain stream, I will leap into it and grab the first fish I see, take a bite.
He does the Gollum. He'll do a Gollum thing.
I've seen him do it. It's true.
You teach a man to fish. You teach a Seth to fish, and you're just all set
I'll feed
forever.
Their lives.
I'm looking forward to seeing some of this in the Bigfoot project.
Yeah, check it out. Coming later this year, possibly next year. It's pretty much just me. It's like Survivor Man, but it's good, and it's me.
Way better. Sorry, Les Stroud.
Yeah, I like Les. That wasn't really a knock on Les at all. That was a joke.
No, I'll have him on, and I'll tell him you said that. I'll be like, this is what he said.
It's fine. I can take him.
We love Les for the record, but I got a question for you, Eli. Mateo Flores says, I have a question for Eli. How do you plan shoots beforehand with interviews and campsites?
I'm not usually the one who does the planning. So Alex is the production guy. So he makes the campsites come together, and he plans out. Most of the time, he plans out the interviews. In fact, all of the time. I don't think I planned out a single interview yet. So yeah, that's all Alex's credit there. So thanks, Mateo, but I'm not as in charge as you think I am.
He also says Eli is a city liquor. and Jeremiah adds, boom, roasted.
This is just the Eli roast session today.
Dude, apparently, wow. I guess people have missed the show and missed having Eli on, apparently.
Boy.
I don't know. Stefan says, Alex, if you're not an expert hiker, I'm a remedial hiker. I'll take that as a compliment, Stefan. But yeah, if I missed any questions, guys, let me know. But I did want to quickly talk about just some of the ones that we've announced beyond the trail for upcoming in the next year. I don't know who wants to talk about that. If Eli wants to talk about that, just mention a few.
Yeah, we got. Oh, geez, I know the one that I'm really excited for is the Kentucky episode. If we're doing it, I hope we do it.
Oh, for sure.
And
Seth, you want to say something?
Rumor you guys are going to Alaska.
That's right.
Little birdie's been talking about it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know. No, yeah, we definitely have an Alaska. So, I mean, do you want to just talk about On the Trail of Bigfoot then? Talk about that real quick.
On the Trail of Bigfoot, the Last Frontier, which will take us to the Last Frontier, which is also known as Alaska, which, aka Alaska, is the subtitle. That's actually the tagline for the movie, is aka Alaska. And we're really excited for that one. In all seriousness,
I'm sorry. Like I'm reading the comments and I just can't take it.
No, I think it's gonna be a really amazing episode. It's probably, like, in terms of scenery, I don't know how you're gonna compete with Alaska unless we hit Tahiti next. So on the Trail of Bigfoot, Tahiti. But no, I'm really excited to go and to take you guys along and you know do the kind of like crossover thing again.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. I'm curious to see how it's going to come out with this Washington one, which I think it will be awesome. But I'm really excited because Alaska, not only is it a crazy place, but we have some really interesting stories and possible spots that we want to go to there that seem pretty amazing. That's all I'll say for now. But maybe we're just wasting our time because according to Bon Islander, Bigfoot was hunted to extermination in 1850. So I don't know. It seems like we might be on the trail of the wrong thing.
That's why I've never seen it. Dang it.
Yeah.
The Bluff Creek Massacre. McDavis.
Oh, gosh. Mothman 46 says, it's occurring to me none of you have seen the Indiana Breedlove survival videos.
Yeah, these are real. If you Google or YouTube, go on YouTube and look up Indy and Wild Man, you will find this survival video series that I made with a friend like 12 years ago. Where
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's real.
I'm watching that after.
It's INDY and Wildman, Indy and Wildman. You'll learn how to survive in the wild. I teach you how you can like pee on poison ivy and then eat it.
Oh my God.
Because it sterilizes the negative poisons in the plant. Teach you how to filter water with a hat. Just all sorts of stuff that you can do to survive in the wild.
Okay, he's serious, guys. I just looked it up.
There it is.
Okay, look at that. That is Seth right there. Amazing. Amazing. What is this outfit? Okay, I'm definitely watching this after. But anyway, awesome. Yeah, Mothman. Yeah, he's always on to something. This guy, man, he really is. There's also, I'm getting more information that there's too many meth heads in the Alaskan bush, so that's probably what we'll run into.
I can't wait.
Holy crap! It's actually real.
Seth, are you gonna join them?
The meth heads? Yeah, I'm gonna join the tribe of primitive meth heads that live in the woods in Alaska.
I feel like we're actually gonna have a hard time getting Seth to leave Alaska.
No, it's probably true. In all seriousness, Alaska was like when I was a kid, that was the place I wanted to go most. I used to write. I did like book reports on it. I would check out like books from the library all the time on Alaska. So it's been a dream of mine for a long time to go there. Also Tahiti.
Also, here you go. Mike says I'm signing Seth up for Naked and Afraid. He can do it. He knows people in Naked and Afraid. So I mean,
I'd win Naked and Afraid in no big deal. You know, airdrop me naked.
I don't want that. I don't want to be there for that.
Yeah, I think this is getting uncomfortable.
It's fine. Just drop me into the swamp naked and it's over. Like I'll win the first episode. How many episodes do you have? Does it have to go the full season? Or can I just like win in
one episode is all it takes. That's clear.
I'll go in, they'll airdrop me in there, right? They airdrop people, right? It's just like they just throw them out of a plane or something.
Oh gosh.
I don't.
Wild.
So, first episode, by the end of that first episode, I'll have a hut built that like will be bigger than most people's houses. I'll have like a storage
this is devolved
meat.
Completely devolved.
I'm so sorry, Alex.
Heather's like, what am I doing here? Why am I on the show with these guys?
Oh no, this is a normal day at the office. This
is just what it's like.
minus Aaron and oh god.
Oh.
Well, somebody else Chick Real says I'm glad I joined the live chat. I need the laugh. You all are a hoot. So apparently somebody else thinks we're funny aside from us. So that's a win in my book.
Yeah, that's a win for sure.
That is totally a win. I did have one more question I wanted to get here. Mateo asks, great to know. Alex, do you think you'll have Eli do voiceover sometime? I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Also, he said Heather Monster is the real MVP. Oh boy.
Hold on. Wait, I just realized what Mateo is. Never mind. Forget it. I just
know
who that is.
Right. Yeah.
That explains a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Interview Forrest Galante. He was on. I actually I tried to get Forrest on. I don't know. He kind of shies away from the Bigfoot stuff. Mike, you want to put in a good word? I'll have Forrest on. That'd be pretty amusing. But okay, this has been pretty wild. So yeah, in summation, we have a lot of cool upcoming Beyond the Trail of planned as well. Aside from Alaska, got some East Coast stuff, some down south stuff. Skunk Ape for sure. As we mentioned, Honey Island Swamp Monster, some other stuff. And we're hoping to get some of you guys on for some of those as well, which would be awesome. Lots of other, cool researchers. So fun stuff. But yeah, anyone in closing have anything else they want to add about Beyond the Trail?
I mean, I can't wait to see what you guys get up to. I always enjoy watching the episodes when they come in. Having said that, I'm saying that, and everyone else in the room's laughing, but I'm being dead serious. I enjoy the series. It's fun. It's fun to watch, and I'm excited to see how both of you continue to evolve as filmmakers while you're doing this.
I don't believe in evolution, so.
All right.
Okay, then we're on the trail of Man Bear Pig. Sweet. Okay. Estelle Harrington says, I hope you're packing guns in Alaska. My brother lives there and says black bear are ferocious and attacking people. They eat them, so don't be lunch. Eli would totally be lunch. Okay, and if you weren't already convinced about Squad, Tate Hieronymus says, become a Squad member of STM so you can watch me. I mean, enough said right there. I think we don't need to do any more plugs. That's all you need to know.
Is Tate Hieronymus.
Good enough. Yeah. No, but for real, guys, very, very good banter in the chat tonight. I must say, for being away for a month, you guys, you brought the goods for sure. Great questions, serious questions, but also very funny banter. For Beyond the Trail of, as I mentioned, if you're a Squad member this week, you get to see Bigfoot Mountain, which is awesome. All about Bigfoot in Oregon. So that'll be fun. Western Bigfoot Exploration. That's Jonathan Easley says, I'm signing up so I can see Tate. There you go. Another one bites the dust. So check that out. Next week, we'll be dropping Bigfoot Mountain for general audiences on YouTube, right? Is that going to be, when is that, next Thursday or?
Yeah.
So for non-channel members, it's next Thursday. For channel members, it's this Thursday.
Yeah, so check that out. And then, like I said, Colorado next month. Month after that is probably Utah, I believe. And then, no, never mind. I don't know. My timeline's messed up.
Midnight, How Skinwalker :
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Comes out at midnight on most major VOD platforms. And we just had, literally, like, as we were going live, Film Threat posted their review. And Film Threat's like a pretty respectable film publication, and they gave it a glowing review. So definitely watch Howl of the River tonight.
Yeah, check that out. Leave some reviews. It's freaking amazing. We watched it before we went to Ohio. Probably my favorite STM film so far. There's so many good ones, but that one, I just love the Rougarou story. Heather did a lot of the heavy lifting on that in terms of the research and everything. I think you did an amazing job. It's pretty incredible. So
thank you. And for anybody that was paying attention to what's been going on down there, what you're going to see in the film, it doesn't look the same now because of the hurricane that just went through. But everybody that's in that film, I've been in contact with. So just as soon as everything went through, I tried my best to reach out to everybody, and everyone is safe. They may not have everything anymore, but they are safe, and that's the most important thing. So,
yeah, absolutely. No, totally. It's awesome. So check that out. STM just has so much ridiculous stuff coming out, but support the YouTube as well, guys. So there's a link down in the description to the YouTube channel. Go subscribe, become a channel member. There's also a link to the playlist with the full Beyond the Trail episodes that are out so far that you can watch on there. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We have Rebecca Slick in the chat. What is up, Rebecca? She says Rebecca's awesome. So another Olympic Project member. She says the Stetson hats will let the Bears know you mean business. Yeah, I didn't bring out the Stetson tonight, but Eli didn't either. So we got to work on our Stetson game apparently.
Well, I can go get it right now.
No, please don't.
It's okay.
It'll be like 2 hours of you rummaging through a closet while we see it.
No, it's right here.
Do it, Eli.
I don't feel like it.
Oh, that's a disappointment. Whoa. People like the Stetson, man. Remember last week we did the show from the STM HQ, and people were like, "Get the Stetson, get the Stetson." They did say that. They did. They did make us put our Stetsons on. But Jonathan says STM is the best. Seth, you picked two great dudes to send around the country in Eli, Coyote, Watson, and Alex. I don't get a cool nickname. Thanks, Jonathan. I'll be sure to. I get
Alex,
Alex.
Alyx.
He's coming on the show next month, so I'll roast him then. Don't worry. Mothman says on the trail of naked and afraid 2022. Yeah, this is just it's gonna devolve. But Kevin says fun show tonight. Nice to have you guys back on Mondays, even though it messes with Monday Night Football. I'm sorry, Kevin, but awesome to have you back too, man. You're always asking some great questions and hilarious stuff. Jonathan says I'm using my mother-in-law's Prime account to buy Rougarou tonight.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Jonathan, you're awesome. It's hilarious. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks, Alex. Always interesting, often hilarious. Thank you very much, Bigfoot Forest. Awesome to have everybody on tonight. Thank you guys. Rebecca also says thank you. You guys are awesome. Rebecca, you are awesome. And yeah, for sure. But follow Small Town Monsters, guys. Follow all these people as well. Andy and Seth and Heather, and I guess Eli, if you want to follow Eli.
Okay. All right.
I'm kidding. Eli's funny. He makes some good content sometimes.
Wow, the digs. All right.
It's the Roast Eli show. It just happens.
It's all right. I'm creating my own YouTube channel called
Big City Beasts.
Big City Beasts, and I'm just gonna roast all of you guys all the time.
What
I'm
about
starting
getting
new
into
live
the
stream.
light?
What did I do to you, Eli? I did nothing.
Andy, you're just collateral damage at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to hear us talk more about Beyond the Trail, check out the second latest episode of Monsteropolis.
For
on
sure.
All podcatchers and on YouTube. There's like a
I heard
fun
there's a
edited version of it.
Yeah, I heard there's a pretty cool guy who does that stuff.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm not sure who does that, but it's good. It's real good.
Absolutely.
So check it out. It's the last episode that's available, our latest episode that's available to watch on the YouTube channel. So go just check that out and keep the night going. Keep hearing us all talk. Just
do it.
And then
you know
go
you want to
back to
hear us
this,
talk.
and then just keep going on loop.
Infinite
Go back
loop.
and forth, back and forth.
Andrea says, very fun show this week. Looking forward to all the upcoming productions. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea is awesome out there on Lake Champlain. She's in Port Henry. Thank you for your support. Mothman says, Heather rocks. This is very true. Tactical Mike, great show, guys. Estelle, thank you. Great show. Tate says, thank you, guys. Tate's awesome. Great. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. But thank you guys, everyone who commented and who was on in the chat here. Looking forward to next week. As I mentioned, next week we'll be having on Chris Spencer of the Olympic Project. So that'll be a lot of fun to talk to him about Bigfoot research, audio, and all that fun stuff. But until next week, guys, please check out other previous episodes of Sasquatch Out of the Shadows Live. Go check out Small Town Monsters. Watch Beyond the Trail. Catch up with everything else. Become a squad member. Do all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys next week. So thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your week.